which is now clicked on the record because I'm just that way, is that you're going to see Tell a Little Bird. When you click that, like the documentation says, you're going to see a little button that pops up that says Compose Tweet. And in that box, that dialog box, is going to be a tweet about this show. And so when you are running your own Blab, you'll ask people to go over, click the little birdie, and then post that tweet. And that will send out an announcement to all of their followers that they are in a Blab with you and that the Blab has started. The next thing we're going to talk about is giving props. If you'll take a look at Nina, I'm going to double click on her. Just roll your mouse over anybody on the screen. And when I double click on her, you see these little round bubbles come up with avatars and stuff like that in profile pictures. Well, those are called props. They used to be called something. They used to be called fields, but you know, there was an expression that everybody was filling each other up, so they changed them to props. The props don't gain any prominence in Blab. They're just a way to be able to say, this guy just said something that I liked or that I agreed with, one of the people that's on screen. At the end of the Blab, it goes away. So they're not cumulative. They don't add up, but they're a real nice gesture to tell people that, you know, you like something that they said. The next thing on this document that you downloaded or that you're looking at is the Blab profile. And your Blab profile matches your Twitter profile when you first sign up, but it doesn't have to. You can change it to better suit the message that you want to portray or the persona that you want to portray when you're in a Blab. I just saw Eileen, and I just, you know, Eileen tweeted this, and I just think she is the bomb. And anytime she wants to come in, she's more than welcome. But it doesn't have to match your Twitter profile. If you roll your mouse over on the top right-hand side, you'll see a picture of you, your avatar, and it'll say Profile Settings and Log Out. Do not click on Profile. If you click on Profile when you're in a Blab, it will take you out of the Blab. But you can click on Settings. And when you click on Settings, you're going to bring up a page that has your full name, your email, your bio, and then a couple other things, you know, notifications and things like that. Well, the bio is what people see when they roll their mouse over you when you're in a Blab or in the comment stream or anywhere on Blab. When they roll the mouse over there, that's where they see the information that's in the bio. And you can change that while you're in Blab, and it's immediate. I wouldn't change the email address. You could change your full name, though. You could change your name to Super John or something like that if you wanted to. But that it's a way for you to be able to change your persona to more closely match what your activities on Blab, what you're trying to achieve there. Some people would use that, like if they have a business account. People on Blab tend to have a more engagement if they have an image up there, a picture up there. So if your Twitter account for your business has your logo, if you put your face up there, you might get a little bit more engagement on it. And the other thing about that is that there's a line that says image, and it's got a clickable button. That is where you would go to change the logo.
Yeah, he dropped. Okay, so we go over. I have to follow where we stopped. I was distracted by participants. You can see the list of your followers and from whom you are following on your profile page. If you look at your followers, profiles can see if the follow is mutual. You can't see if the follow is mutual from the following list. So you can participate. Each blab can have 4 blabbers, including the host. The host sits usually on the top left square. The host determines how many seats will be open. They also decide if there will be rotating blabbers. On the comment stream right-hand side, you will see a comment stream and type your comment to the open space, which says something cool in the dialog box, and hit enter. Your comment will be added to the stream. So let me check, because sorry, I don't have the printed paper and I closed my screen.
Am I back in now?
Yes.
Yes, I am. I didn't even know I was dropped out. I saw you start picking it up and I was going like, I was looking at my page, you know, because I get really focused on trying to get through this so that we can get some people in and talk to them. So I heard you start talking about it, and I was looking at it thinking, well, I'm going to cover that in a minute, but I'll wait. I saw
yes, but I don't have a second screen, so I couldn't see the screen. Sorry.
Yeah, it's good. You covered the profiles, tells you the number of days.
The comments, and then we go to reply. Maybe to have this star for the comments, pick somebody and reply.
Okay, so the page that we're on, if you've downloaded this, is the page that talks about how you can participate. And over on the right hand side, first of all, in the Blab screen, you have 4 different locations. The one on the top left is normally the host, but that's not always true. We'll get into that question here in a minute, Jerry. On the comment stream, on the right-hand side, you'll see a comment stream. Simply type your comment into to say something cool and hit enter, and it'll be there. If you have a question, you got your cue card ready?
Yeah.
If you have a question, if you type in /Q and then you type in a space and your question, it'll show up like Jerry's did over here on the right-hand side. It'll show up as a question, which immediately, if you notice, drew my attention to the question, so I could look at it and address those followers who are asking those kind of questions, or asking questions, because it's highlighted. Now what we're going to do is we're going to roll over. Let's roll over. I love Eileen to death. So if you go up to Eileen's name and you roll over, there's a line where she says hello to David. If you put your mouse over that, you're going to see this little star show up. And there's a light colored star and a light colored reply arrow. If you click on the star, which I'm going to do, then it turns that star and it changes those numbers depending on how many people click on that star. It turns that star yellow or a gold color. And what that does is it gives Eileen, who is not in the Blab, it gives her some feedback about what she just said. You know, it's like, hey, I liked what you said. I agree with what you said. I thought that was a very good point. And then the arrow is, if you go ahead and roll over that and you click on the little arrow, the little gray arrow, and then you look down at the bottom, you will see that it's already put in the comments at Eileen, which means that if you sent her a lovely message, that you would get a lovely message in return, because that's the way she rolls. So clicking the star, the best way I know how to probably relate that to is it's kind of like you're favoriting that comment, you know, on Twitter, or that you are in Google Plus. That would be like a plus, or in Facebook, it would be like a like or something like that. You know, you like that. They don't. It gives people feedback about the stuff that they're doing. That's a good thing to do too. Joining a Blab is very easy to do. You should see down there a join open seat. All you do is click that. If the host accepts you, you will join the others on screen. And then we're going to go over following. What you want to do is you have the opportunity to meet and collaborate with people from all over the world. I'm going to use 2 examples here. If you look at the Blab, you see that Ron Schneeberger, you have his name, and you have at Ron Schneeberger right below that, and just to the right of it is kind of an avatar. To the right of it is kind of a picture now, or a avatar of a head. If you click on Ron's name, it's going to bring up that dialog box or that profile box with his information in there, that he's a certified calligraphy master, engraver, retired, work from home now, and how you can locate him on Twitter. If you're following him, then you won't have it'll say that you're following him. If he follows you, there'll be a link there that said he follows you. It'll tell you how long he's been on Blab, how many followers he's got, and how many people that he's following. It's really good that when we did the profile earlier in this Blab, that is where you put that information, because that's how I determine whether or not I'm going to follow people. Is that I look at that bio and I go, this is a person that I would like to follow or not. If you look on the screen, and if there are any colors in those boxes next to those people's name, that means you're following. If there's any of them that are a white box, that means you're not following them. I would appreciate you going and following me, just because I like followers as much as anybody. If you roll over, I want to show you also up in the top. If you roll over Eileen's name, you're going to see Eileen Smith, and you're going to see her @Eileen address. She's a blogger, a podcaster, YouTuber, social media diva, and she's got learn.eileensmith.com helping you find your voice. So once that activity of seeing what's on that profile is true all the way through Blab. So you can follow Eileen or anybody up in that stream. You can also do the same thing over on the right-hand side where the comments are. If you have to click on the person's name, and then it'll bring up that same profile box that you can read. That's why it's pretty important to get the profile stuff. And that is the end of what we try to do here in 25 minutes, because we like to blab as much as anybody. So we've got an open seat. Let's see if we got any questions. Oh, the @help. Yes, thank you very much. If you are having a technical issue other than the fact that you just did something wrong like I did earlier today, then if you type in @help in the comment box, don't do it right now. That's right. Casa Nazim is letting us know, don't do that right now, because that sends a message to the Blab team that something is going on that they need help with, that the person needs help with. And I believe, and I'm not positive about this, but I believe it was determined yesterday that was only for those that were in the Blab, though. I don't think the @help actually sends that message when they're over in the comment box or just watching the Blab. When you click on the plus tab. So anybody else got any questions, or anybody want to come in and talk? Yes.
Well, I helped you as much as I can right now, so I'm going to put an extra seat up there in case some people want to come in.
Jerry.
There is an open seat, yeah.
There, Stan, Nina.
Hi.
Just to clear up the whole following business, I suppose the source of my confusion was when I did my first blab the other day, people who I was already following on Twitter appeared as I'm already following them on Blab. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. You mean yes?
So their little arrow was filled, or
it's filled out because you're already following each other over on Twitter, because it actually reads the Twitter API is what it does, I believe.
So that's just at the start, is it? When you
wait, hold on a second. I love corrections. This is why Eileen has been in this since day one. Eileen, if you want to come in and tell us that the real answer to that, I would love to hear it, because I've not been asked that. We're here to do the basics of what we know, and as we get more information, she's saying that was just a coincidence. She says that the people. So what is that? Does that mean that those people were that had already been on Blab and followed him, Eileen? Oh, she's at work.
Yeah, she wrote earlier that she's at work.
So that means
I noticed that when I follow somebody new here, I'm not following them on Twitter. But it's not one and the same for different people, because when I'm following them on Twitter, they are already followed here. I don't know if it's coincidence. Hi, Nazim.
Hello, everybody.
This is the beauty of this kind of stuff, though, and that's why I try to get through the meat of what I know, is so that everybody knows different things about that. So when you ask that question about Twitter, do you know the answer to that?
Yeah, Jerry, the point is that when you add on Blab, you only add on Blab. But if you want to add also on Twitter, you go up to the right. You know where it says 46 viewers?
You go and click on the eye.
You click on the eye, and on the eye you see both Twitter and both Blab.
And so when you click on the little bird in that eye dialogue,
it takes
you end up going to their Twitter profile where you can follow.
That's correct, and then you add them there through the Twitter profile.
Yeah, it would be great if you could.
But it doesn't do it automatically.
quickly-
If you add them on Blab, they're not added in your Twitter.
Yeah, we have to fill that in the document too.
Yeah, we do. So please let's get that written in there, because that is a very good question. So I think what you were asking was that when you came in, though, some of yours were already checked, right?
Yeah, because I did a blab with some friends, and we were all following each other, so we were already filled in, added on Blab. It seemed maybe when we all joined, it picked up which Twitter followers were already on Blab.
Eileen indicates that there is no auto following to Twitter.
All right.
Yeah, there's no.
There must. I'm curious about why that reason is, but maybe it's because some people might just want to have a Blab world and not necessarily follow on a Twitter world.
Or they may not have that much. I don't know this, but the API is going to be based off permissions. Maybe they don't have the permissions to be able to do that deeply. Probably. Because sometimes when you go in and do those kind of things, people consider it invasive, because you're looking at a Twitter account that somebody says, well, I want you over on Blab, and it's all about what I want, and it's really not. And by the way, I can just tell you this, that if you're not following Eileen and my buddy Nazim, you need to follow him. I see Mark Timberlake. That's another guy that you need to follow. But Eileen, you definitely need to follow, because I would say she's in, like I said, she's in the beginning of this document. She is one of the ones that says, look, here's where we got this information from. Here's the people that we follow. Here's what we're doing. We're not trying to become like the Circadians are not trying to become the utmost authority on Blab. What we're trying to do is become a starting point that says, we're going to get you the basics. There's going to be a lot of people out there that's going to know a lot more about it. Eileen would be one of them. But we feel like that you can be more comfortable then once you go into a Blab and you're like, well, I've got the basics down, because I've seen where people have done Blabs and they've been asking questions and the host doesn't pay any attention to them. And the host doesn't pay any attention to them because they don't have that little cue to them. And it's not like this question here. Does anyone know how users are?
Probably how many users are on Blab? That's the question to Charles. I heard the last number I heard is 10,000, but I don't know.
10,000?
Yeah.
Early days, though. Early days.
Yeah, I mean, this is like a week ago, and I heard somebody mention 10,000. I found that a little bit small, but who knows? They're not giving out those numbers, I think.
Well, here's an odd thing. If I could just ask, do you see my webcam is in reverse?
Yeah,
it's a mirror. When you go and look at the recording of this later, it will have flipped back to the right way around.
Right.
It's totally baffling me, because I was wanting to try this Manycam thing to try and bring in some.
Manycams, yeah.
But this mirror image thing is making it mess up.
So does the recording come back for you mirrored?
No, the recording comes back the right way around, which is bizarre.
It reminds me of Hangouts, because sometimes we had the issue with mirroring that you would have it mirrored, but it looked good to everybody who was watching.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's just the type of webcam I have. But I'm working on a PC, so Manycam was the one that seemed to be simplest to set up. Is there something that other people are using for fancy virtual camera stuff?
Well, I can tell you this, and then I want to. You notice there's like another guy down here on the bottom now. I don't know if he just dropped off, but or at least on mine. But
he bounced back.
Yeah, he bounced off. There was a couple of things, so because now he's bounced back. That I think it's him and Nazim are playing musical chairs right now. I guess you'd call them blabbical chairs, but they're trying to decide who's going to be in here right now, hide and seek. But I can tell you this, that I was in a Blab with Brittany the other day, and they were talking about third-party applications, and they were talking about lower thirds and all that stuff. And to be, she said, you don't waste your time. I mean, basically what she's saying is that what I understood she was saying was that they're working on those kind of things anyway. And that they're at the top, that's your lower third. I think that I think they really want to become, and again, this is not this is just what I think. Eileen, I know will correct me if I get off track on it, but I think they're doing the right things. Keeping it very simple. People can get in, they can talk, they can, you can manipulate around it and get your way around and navigate it, not manipulate, but navigate around it and get to where you want and meet people and talk about stuff. When you get into, whether it's going to be private, I saw a thing, they said that they were never going to be private, but they may change that. But I don't, thank you very much, Eileen. But as far as getting into all that stuff, I wouldn't do it. It's just going to be a waste of time because they're going to, it's just not that kind of platform. I mean, I get it, but I don't believe that the whole marketing thing that people have been using this kind of stuff for, I don't think it's going to be successful here. I think that what's going to be successful here is what I call, and wrote an article on about it 5 years ago, called, strategic engagement optimization rather than search engine optimization, is being able to see each other face to face and saying, Mark, how are you?
I'm fine.
You got a question, man?
Sort of give it. No, I don't really have a question. I'm sort of answering Jerry's question a little bit. I happen to have ManyCam running right now, and right now you should see the time. They're down in the corner, and it's reversed to me.
Right. So
that it's just fine for you folks that are looking right now.
Great.
Yeah,
that's good to know. Excellent.
Well, I have a
Thanks,
question
Mark.
for you two guys. Since we got two guys in here that's got them, I want to know why you have them. I'm just blabbing. Now we're starting to blab. I mean, our whole purpose is to get through the 25 minutes of the basic stuff, and now we can say, why do you have them? And by the way, that 2 fingers over there by Nina, she's telling me that, because I am a time guy. I've got a lot of stuff to do.
Okay.
Why
Can I come back then? I wanted to try something, injecting a bit of video into an empty seat. So I would have 2 computers, one on different accounts, specifically to have a conversation about what was happening on the live video. I was wanting to inject a live video from a court case that was happening here in Scotland the start of the week, Monday, Tuesday, and then have people come on and just converse about what was happening on the other screen. So that was my main reason for looking at ManyCam.
Interesting. I have a thought about that, and I want to hear what Mark's reason is too. And Nina, would you put the Learn Blab, the link to the document so they can?
Yeah.
Why do you use it?
Well, the main reason I end up having it is I've just sort of begun planning on putting something together on possibly Blab. I have a website. I sell actually Meerkat merchandise. So it makes it easier for me, instead of me having to say what the website is or having to constantly type it into the side, to have it actually scroll across the screen, and it's giving them the information. And like, for instance, right now there happens to be an extended sale, so technically I could run the ticker across the screen, and it would end up showing the sale.
Okay, I'm going to give you the guys, and you didn't ask for it, but I'm going to give you my personal opinion on both of those. Okay, I don't think the Blab is what I've seen so far. I don't think Blab is the platform to do that with. I think Blab is a platform to engage people and then get them over somewhere else, because I will never watch a presentation about, I might watch a court case if I could actually see the court case live in that third screen, but I would never watch a presentation on how to do things or any of that stuff, because the screens are too small, and that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to talk and find out things. Now, again, I'm not telling you that, things might change, but I'm just telling you from my viewpoint is that I would never do that. I think all platforms have their place. There's a lot of people that are talking about Google Hangouts is going to be gone. I don't know if Google Hangouts will be gone or not. I doubt it, because the way that, the presentation there is completely different. It's where you can do the things like what you're talking about. You can engage people here and talk about your conversation and tell them, just like I'm fixing to, is that if you want to get in touch with us and engage with us on a different level, here's what we do. But right now, we're just going to be talking and being, as Roy Montero said, friend-education, because the kind of people, this is a good platform to learn that with. If you like the presentation today, go to, I'm going to put this down here. If you like the presentation, click on that. I like some feedback. You click on the reviews. It'll go over there and you can give me a review and say, I liked it. I didn't like it. You were a jerk. You were a great guy, whichever one. But that's what I think the entire, concept here is. That's what I'd like you to do. If you can't, if you don't want to, I'm okay with that too. But I'm just telling you guys, because I really like people, and I especially know this, that without a sale or without money transferring, that it's hard to stay in business. But when you're trying to sell, like you said,
I'm not necessarily saying sell. What I am trying to do, it makes it hard sometimes for me to somewhat just show the products that I have. So on an occasion, I'm not saying it's something that I plan on doing all the time, and it would be somewhat of a announced type thing that I'd be going to Blab. And for anybody that has any sort of questions regarding any of the merchandise, or they want a little bit more information on the merchandise, that's what the idea of it was supposed to be. I mean, like I said, everything is still in its very beginning stages. I'm somewhat still learning Manicam myself, so it hasn't even started yet. But I believe that this particular platform is capable of doing a whole lot more than just having these tiny conversations. I think you can somewhat expand in different areas also.
Well, I wouldn't disagree with you, other than to say that's going to be a call that they're going to make, not us. That's a call they're going to make. And they've not given me no indication. And I run OBS and I run X-Rite and I run a lot of different stuff too. So they've given me no indication that that's what I need to do. Now you guys might make your living at that. I don't know, but I think it's great. I wish you all the luck in the world. I think that it's great that you're here. I'm glad that I met you. As a matter of fact, boom, I'm gonna follow you.
All right.
Just like that, because I like good conversation, and I'm on the technical side of stuff. I like the technical side of stuff too.
Well, like I said, everything here is all in its beginning stages. So you end up picking up on more users. I mean, let's be for real. There are some people that are here that end up having conversations about how they ended up getting drunk on camera last night, and now they woke up and they're having the hair of the dog, and they're talking about getting drunk last night. So there's all sorts of conversation that ends up taking place here, and you can do an awful lot of different things.
I mean, my interest in Blab is coming from sort of political discussions and conversations, because the group you would have seen in the lower third I put up, it's a sort of citizen journalist group, and so we go about live streaming events, and for a long time we've actually used Skype and live stream together to do conversations like this. But once we saw Blab, we thought, wow, this is doing all the hard work for us, and it's bringing in a global audience to what can sometimes be parochial discussions. So I'm not coming at it from a business point of view, but sometimes I want a lower third where we can put information about what we're talking about, or we are a group of people, so we have our names up there, but we want to have a group branding, I suppose, so that people can go back and look at our website stuff.
Yep, I get that too, because you're not necessarily talking about a business thing. You're talking about a social movement or something that, from a social standpoint, I get that, and it helps clear up sometimes. Like I said, I'm not the guy that makes any decisions. I'm just the guy that talks. But I'll tell you what I think, and for me, I'm not going to spend any time on that, because I think that they're going to change that, and that they can change it just about the time you get it figured out how to do it. They'll come out with something that's going to actually do it anyway. So I'm going to tell you, I appreciate y'all showing up. We're going to go off the record now, and we're going to spend just a couple of minutes off the record, because Melanie Hall has got a Blab going this morning, and I thought it was really interesting about 10:30. And my boss, Nina.
How many times are you going to talk for the questions?
How much time are we going to talk on the question?
Yeah, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes.
Well, we've discussed 5, 10, and 25.
We already did 5.
Yeah, I'm going to hop off and just thank everyone for. I've learned a lot in this 15 minutes I've been on. I'll stay watching. So thanks again.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, I'm jumping out of here too to give somebody else.
Thank you, Mark.
See you. So if anybody else wants to jump in real quick, if not, we're going to be checking out of here as soon as I put one more time. There's where you can go to give us a review about this. We'll see y'all. We're here every day at 10 o'clock. And if you guys know somebody that needs some of this information or needs just a little learning on it, just send them over here. And this is what they'll get. We do the best that we can. Thank you.
See you. Bye.